The 1UP Superstar Series playoffs roll on, and tonight we are at the beautiful Texas Motor Speedway just outside Fort Worth for 84 laps to decide the winner of this race and a lot more, because this is still race number 4 of the playoffs, race 24 of the season, and with 15 drivers still eligible for the championship, I would expect a lot of action to unfold tonight, because Texas is always known to provide that in the times we've been here in the past. And alongside me in the booth to bring you all the action once again is Jacob Krega with us once again. Great to have you with us. They say everything's bigger in Texas, and that holds true here, especially the racing action and sometimes the crashes as well.
Yeah, I was about to mention the speeds, the wrecks, the fan excitement. Like Texas can be one of the biggest places you can head to, and it also can produce some of the biggest moments that wind up shaping the entirety of one season, especially with it being so late in the season as it is. I mean, you got Myles Mashburn. He's been leading the standings pretty much since like round 5 or 6, and he continues to dominate, as we'll see here in a moment. But I don't know. I have a feeling something big is going to happen that might turn around the shape of how the rest of these playoffs are going to go down.
It could very well happen. It's happened in the past, and it could very well happen again. With a quick look now at the top of the standings, Myles Mashburn, you mentioned it, has a 21-point lead going into this weekend. He's got that lead over Dylan Young, Christian Vargas, a further 17 points back, Zachary DeLello a point behind him, and Henry Thomas in 5th position, 44 points off the lead. But that brings me to my next point. The guys at the tail end of the playoff field, guys like Cale Teskar Jr., your pole sitter today, Ben McDonald, Zayden Davidson, Chase Chris, these guys have a lot of work to do. They're over a race behind already, and they're going to need a big day today to rectify that.
Yeah, a couple of them are already starting off on the back foot. You got Chase Chris, the furthest back in qualifying for the playoffs, guys. He's going to be rolling off 20th, so he's already on the back foot, even more so than he already is. And that's not what you need, especially when fighting for a championship like this. I mean, you've also got Ben McDonald. He's not in the great starting spot either, as we'll see here in a moment. But, yeah, Teskar Jr., as you said, on pole, it's going to be – he is already starting off great. But, as we'll see in a moment, not necessarily out of the woods just yet.
Well said indeed. And as we can now bring you the starting lineup for tonight's 84 laps of action, it is indeed Cale Teskar Jr. on the pole position. And alongside him, we have Kev Shearer getting his career best start on his way out the door of Superstar competition. Jeffrey Finguy, winner last time out at Kansas, he lines up in 3rd. Nick Ortiz, a strong performance from him in 4th position, and rounding out the top 5 is the championship leader, Myles Mashburn. You can never count him out of races until he either falls out of the race altogether or the race ends naturally. So Mashburn's in a great starting spot, but he's got to hold on to it over the course of a very long race here tonight.
Yeah, and anything that can go wrong, possibly. Well, I say anything that can go wrong can't go wrong, but it sounds like an oxymoron, but like it is true, especially in motorsports. You never know what the next lap will bring you. You never know what the next corner is going to bring you. Just because Myles Mashburn lines up 5th does not mean he's going to finish in 5th. Granted, it could also very mean he is going to finish in 5th. Who knows?
So with that being said, we have 42 drivers ready to chase after the victory here tonight, and we're ready to bring you that action now. It's the 1UP Superstar Playoffs under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway, and the green flag set to get this great race underway, so stay tuned for that. I expect it to be another epic one, just as it has been over the course of the whole season. Getting set for 84 laps under the lights at Texas, it is Teskar and Shearer on the front row, leading us to the restart zone. Past it now, the green flag's out, we're racing at Texas, and Teskar gets a pretty good launch off the line. He's going to lead the charge down into turn 1, with Finguy in hot pursuit. We've got 3 playoff drivers on the inside, all trying to make gains early.
Yeah, and see there, Teskar able to clear Shearer going in turn 1, and Finguy clear off of the corner here. Now it's going to be a battle for third between Mashburn and Shear as they head through turns 3 and 4. And it's going to be Teskar pulling out good 2-3 car lengths ahead of Finn Guy here to lead the first lap.
Yeah, but I think Finn Guy wants a shot at the lead already. He's diving one down the inside of the 18 into turn 1. Remember, the first and second turns are a little less banked than 3 and 4 are, so a little slower speeds that should allow some more momentum to be carried around the outside, and that's exactly what Cale Teskar Jr. has done. He's cleared Finn Guy once again, leading the charge in the turn 3, but now we've got some new faces at the front of the field. Christian Vargas making his way towards the front, and how about the car behind him? Nicky Martinez in the 43, an excellent qualifying effort for the 43 team. She's already knocking on the door of a top 5.
Yeah, hasn't really had much luck this season, so it's great to see her up here trying to battle for a top 5 spot. She's still battling side by side with Kev Shear in 21. But yeah, getting to the point of turns 1 and 2, they're also a lot wider, so you can run even a higher line if you need to. So see Zayden Davidson now, another one of the Revolution Racing cars, now get up next to Kev Shear to try and battle for a top 5 spot. That's now going to be 3 cars for Revolution Racing in the top 5 if he can get past Shear. And now Vargas now around Finn Guy. That could be crucial here as the laps go on, especially with Vargas entering this race 38 points, third in the championship behind Mashburn.
Yeah, although Mashburn is keeping a watching brief over the whole situation. He's battling Finn Guy right now for 3rd position. And honestly, a performance like that from Mashburn should be plenty enough for him to pad his points lead a little more. Because, yes, he's got Vargas right here, but Dylan Young has started this race all the way down in 14th. He hasn't even entered the top 10 yet. As Vargas now dives to the inside of Cale Teskar Jr., he wants to take the lead after a heartbreak last time out.
Yeah, both these guys really want and need a win this season. You got Devin Fair, who really had basically a lion's share of success for Revolution Racing this season. So both of these guys hungry to try and get their names with on a trophy at least this season. As now it's going to be Zayden Davidson making an all Revolution Racing podium here with a move to the inside of Mashburn for 3rd.
And I would expect Devin Fair to try and sneak his way up to the top 10 before you know it, to join his teammates at the front of the field. And look at this, we got 3 wide. Briefly, for 4th position, Sanders stuck it underneath Finn Guy and Mashburn, the 92, backing out of that. Wise move, doesn't want to tear his stuff up too early. As Vargas now sends another move up the inside of Teskar, and you know what? He's going to take the lead this time out of turn 4.
Yeah, he kept on hounding the 18 the last couple of laps here as we were focused on the battle a little bit further back. But yeah, able to take the lead, able to lead lap. That's going to be crucial here as the championship runs on here. And look at this, Zayden Davidson now side by side with the 18 coming off turn 2 there, down the back straightaway. But Teskar able to clear, at least at the moment. You got another championship contender, Lane Sanders, there just behind Zayden Davidson as well in line on the bottom there with Kev Shear right behind. So Kev Shear able to recover a little bit after that brief fallback from rolling off P2.
Yeah, this is his best run of the season so far, and he's putting that good starting spot to good use here tonight. But Mashburn, he does clear Davidson once again for the 3rd position, breaking up the Revolution 1, 2, 3. But I think Mashburn, as long as he keeps these guys within reach, I don't think he's has too much pressure to lead this race and command it like he did in weeks past. I think right now he's just trying to maintain the status quo, keep a big lead. And although, as I say that, I look at the tail end of the top 10, Dylan Young is coming to the front.
Yeah, but Dylan Young still has a lot of work to do. Yeah, he's running in 10th right now, but with Mashburn running up in the 3rd position, like, that's not going to be enough. No, made that 4th position. I think Davidson got back around Mashburn. But, yeah, like, Mashburn is just, as you said, padding out his points lead effectively. Teskar is barely gaining anything. He started this race 13th in points, 68 points out. Christian Vargas, as I mentioned earlier, 3rd, 38 points out. They're barely gaining anything on Mashburn at this moment with him running in 4th. Zayden Davidson as well, 67 points out, just 1 point ahead of Cale Teskar Jr., entering his race in 12th.
And meanwhile, further back, Patrick Smith making moves with his teammate as Teskar takes the lead back from Christian Vargas into turn 1. So Tescar's not through with this quite yet. He's making a move for the lead. He's taking it from the 54. These two, I think, have the fastest cars so far, but I would expect as the run progresses, there will be comers and goers in this one.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're playing a team game. Teskar let Vargas lead maybe a few laps, help get him the bonus point for leading a lap, possibly. That remains to be seen, but I don't know. It's going to be crucial for those bonus points to be scored here, especially with the just hammered down consistencies. Mashburn now looks to the inside of the 54, heading into turn 3. Oh, this is so tight. I think contact might have been made there.
Yeah, if it wasn't contact, it was pretty close. But Mashburn trying to make a move now on the 54 to go up into second position, and at the line, he did get Christian Vargas there. So Mashburn trying to make a move up into second. He's got it for now. Now he's setting off after Teskar. He's going to try and make a move for the lead. So much for just playing it safe and padding his points total. Safest place you can really be is out in front of this field.
Well, as I said, bonus points can make the difference here. Mashburn now clear by a couple car lengths over the Revolution teammates here. And he's going to get that bonus point for leading a lap, which is now basically negating the work that Teskar and Vargas have put in to try and at least getting at least a little bit extra momentum against Mashburn. As Lane Sanders, I believe, has taken fourth. He has, actually. Finn Guy now back up to fifth, just ahead of Zayden Davidson.
But going back to what I was saying a while ago about Dylan Young, he started this race in 14th. He's already passed half the cars that started ahead of him. I think that 29's got some business to prove here in this race. He's just passed Zayden Davidson for 6th spot. He's knocking on the door of Finn Guy's bumper for a top 5. I think that 29 wants to get one more win under his belt before he retires at season's end.
Yes, especially with him being in contention for the title fight. I mean, he ended this race second in points. We saw it in the points graphic during the pre-race. So him making the charge up to the front definitely shows that he's really hungry for another win this season.
And remember how close he came at Chicagoland, his home race, the one he wanted the most. That one slipped away from him very late. But what better way to redeem yourself than go out a few weeks later and score a win here at Texas? And right now he's making the move under his team owner, Finn Guy, for the 5th position, and he's just taken it. Finn Guy drops back now behind Ben McDonald, and Devin Fares showed up to the party at last. He's now up to 7th.
Yeah, I don't think Finn Guy's going to be really happy about losing that many spots, but he's going to be able to find a line here just ahead of another one of his cars, Patrick Smith, there in the 22. So, yeah, you got basically the entire top 7, 8, 9 cars, all playoff guys, actually.
You know what they say, the cream rises to the top and when it matters most, and for these guys, that's exactly what's happening for them. As we've got, actually, I think the whole top 10 now is playoff drivers when you look back at Joshua Michaels in the 6 car, rounding out the top 10, so. Like I just said, cream rises to the top, and these guys are showing that right here, as Young now makes a move on Lane Sanders for 4th position.
Yeah, and I was looking at a little bit further ahead at the front here, as we were focused a little bit further back in the back half of the top 10. I saw Christian Vargas try to make a move on Myles Mashburn. That did not work out. Mashburn has pulled out quite a bit ahead now of these guys. As, contact between Michaels and...
Oh, they're going up the track! Into the wall! Finn Guy around! Michaels around! Coming back down in the traffic! Oh, big impact! Hunter involved as well! Ellison piles in! Lattimore upside down! This is going to pull a huge caution out for the first time on lap 20, and this is going to wipe out a lot of heavy hitters tonight.
Oh, man. Well, we said it. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the wrecks, and we just saw a big one right there.
William Brock with a lot of damage.
Jeff
Bolton with a lot of damage. Yeah. Roberto Crown Jr., both the Crossroads cars in this race, wiped out as a result of this. James Ellison and Stephen Hunter, 2 playoff drivers, Michaels and Finn Guy, likely going to be out of this race. I saw Zachary DeLello with a little bit of damage as well. Heartbreak for so many drivers who were hoping for good things to happen. Although, the good news for everybody else who made it through, they can now get their pit stop out of the way and make it to the end.
Yeah, a lot lot of good cars with damage here as well. Although some with less damage than others, they should be able to easily get those cars repaired. But yeah, big wreck. And man, that is not what Finn guy needed, especially after winning last time out.
Yeah, he needed to keep up that good momentum, and now it's all come undone for him here at Texas. But the field makes its way down pit road. We'll get your replays of that accident once pit stops cycle out. But for now, everyone heads to the attention of their crew.
Yeah, test car is in. Here comes Ortiz and Shear with great starting spots. Ortiz really has not been a factor at all during this. Like, from the drop of the green flag, he has fallen back as now Mashburn and Vargas come off the pit road. Ooh, that was tight there.
Yeah, it really was. But, it's going to be interesting to see who they give that position to, Young or Teskar. But
I think Teskar got it.
Well, we'll see. As Lattimore out of the race, Duke Anzac pulling in with some significant damage. He's going to be in trouble. And we're going to get you some replays of this very large accident that put us under our first yellow flag of the evening on lap 20, and boy, was it a large one tonight. So you see Michaels... Oh, no, Evans Ross got into the back of Michaels, who in turn sent one into the back of Finn Guy. That was just a domino effect of Evans Ross sending one in, and that's a hard impact. For Stephen Hunter, I think that wasn't a 31. Chris Lattimore upside down. We've got Keon Daly involved, William Brock. Man, that was a lot.
Oh, and one more hit for the 3 of Ellison there. Right at the end, I think Michaels was trying to send it in on Finn Guy. Finn Guy was having none of it. And Evans Ross, as you said, kind of gave a little bit of a shot to Michaels, and that really kicked off the contact that initiated all of that. Finn Guy was probably running a little bit frustrated after losing so many spots early in this race. Just not what you need to be doing so early in a race like this.
So yeah, coming through the quad oval, and Evans Ross got a huge run going through there, heading into turn 1. She hits Michaels, Michaels hits Finn Guy, the 6 and the 92 go sliding, and then it's just a chain reaction as they slide down the track.
Yeah, and with the speeds they run here, you have so little time to react, especially when you're coming around a corner where you really can't see that far ahead of you because of the nature of the shape of the corner. So, heavy hits. Rotron Jr. with a lot of damage. Lattimore, as we've mentioned multiple times now, upside down over.
One more look at this from our far angle, and the 39 pushed the 6 into the 92, and they're fine now, but once they slide down the track, it's just into oncoming traffic. Ellison with a huge hit, Hunter with multiple huge hits, DeLello piles in, Zachary Fitzwater with some damage we just saw. That is very hard for these guys because they spend all this time preparing these race cars for Texas because we only go here once a year, and this is how they end up pretty early on.
Yeah, honestly, we have barely mentioned DeLello in this. He's another playoff guy. He entered this race 4th in points, just 39 out from Mashburn, 1 point behind Vargas entering this. That's going to be a huge blow to him as well, lost in all of this while we were focused on Finn Guy and Michaels.
Yeah, so we're cycling under caution, our first of the day, and based on how big that accident was, I'm very curious if this will be the last as well, because we could just as easily see another big incident like that, particularly out of turn 4. That's where we normally get accidents here, but who knows at this rate, because these guys have got to have to have seen that accident and think, man, we got lucky.
Yeah, especially with the ones that were right behind and were able to work their way through it. But yeah, it's just the nature of races like this where you're having near constant high speeds and running through a long corner like that. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, but right now we've got 23 laps in the books. We're coming up to start lap 24, and we should get the lights out on the safety car pretty soon. But what's this? Oh, we might have problems here with the points leader and the race leader coming to pit road a second time.
That is not what you want to see, especially if you are Myles Mashburn. So, hear me out. It is what everybody else wants to see, especially when you're, Christian Vargas, Dylan Young, who are second, third, now first and second, as the lights do go out on the pace car. And as Myles Mashburn comes down pit road,
I think it was
that had to have been a loose lug.
It sure was, and they're putting it back. They're securing it on that 72, and they're going to send him back out on his way. He will be able to resume the race, still on the lead lap, but he will fall all the way back to about the 33rd position.
Yeah, but we know he has a fast car. He just needs to be careful working his way through traffic in case another large wreck like what we just saw happens again.
Yeah, but we're going to get ready for the restart, and Mashburn has about 60 laps to make his way back to the front of the field. It's not impossible, given the speed of that car, but I guess we'll see what happens, because we're going to get the restart in about half a lap's time.
Yeah, not only that, but a lot of the cars in front of him are damaged a little bit and will be off pace. So if he's careful enough, he can make quick work of them. It's just a matter of can he get around them quick enough to still be in condition for the win here.
For the win, maybe not, but at least try and salvage a top 10 finish or something to that effect to try and make up good points still. Pace car pulls off. Christian Vargas leads the field. Zachary Fitzwater a lap down on the inside lane all by himself. Green flags back out. We're racing once again here in Texas.
And that's crucial. Vargas clear of Fitzwater, sorry. Here, in fact, pretty much the top 5 clear of Fitzwater here. Now top 6 as McDonald finally clears him. Coming off the corner, and looks like J.D. Martin also going to clear Fitzwater. Now Fitzwater just holding up basically everybody 8th on back, at least for a brief moment here. Yeah, Fitzwater really off pace here. That's going to be a bit hairy here as he's really holding up Patrick Smith. Patrick Smith probably getting on the radio here, trying to say, hey, get this guy out of my way.
Nicky Martinez held up. She pops down to the inside. Cody Goforth stacked up. Sam Donato stacked up. And further back, we've got Myles Mashburn, you see here. He is currently riding in about... He's passed a couple cars. Oh, and we got Julio Cesar on pit road. Something must have happened to the 00 at the restart, because he's now on pit road, and he's losing laps in the process.
Another playoff contender as well. As I think I see him rolling. Yeah, now he's rolling off of pit road. He's going to go at least one lap down here. Yeah, I mean, I said in the pre-race, this place can make or break your season when it comes down to crunch time in the playoffs. We've seen that with Mashburn. Now we see it with Caesar.
Yeah, Mashburn,
and Finguy and DeLello and
Michaels
also,
too.
Michaels, yeah.
But Mashburn's, the good news for him is he's still on the racetrack. He's on the lead lap, and he's making up positions. He's gotten by Daly, he's gotten by Dugansak, Rasha Mahendra, and Zachary DeLello is going to help him pass Patrick Smith as well. And the way Fitzwater stacked these guys up, it makes me think Mashburn can be able to pick off a few more before he settles into a rhythm.
Yeah, in fact, Patrick Smith's still stuck behind Fitzwater here. Now only just now able to get down to the inside to get around the 59. So that's also going to help Mashburn out quite a bit as well.
And actually, Julio Cesar has come out of the pits, and he is on the verge of going 2 laps down, because look, there he is right in front of the leaders, as Vargas and Dylan Young now up to second place. I mentioned this 29, didn't I, earlier in this race? He could be a challenger, and the 2 out front, Vargas and Young, are starting to pull away from everybody else behind.
Yeah, they're battling side by side hard for 3rd place between the 2 Revolution teammates of Teskar and Devin Fair here. Not Finguy, Lane Sanders. Man, Finguy's usually up at the front, so I'm used to saying his name a lot. But Lane Sanders trying to push Teskar past his teammate, not able to do so. Devin Fair still holding strong on that 3rd spot. And how about now Evans Ross and J.D. Martin side by side here?
Yeah, I was just about to mention J.D. Martin. He started this race down in 29th, and he's already found his way to the top 10. This is becoming a regular occurrence with J.D. Martin. He starts in the 20s, he finds his way to the front of the field, and he's won 2 of the last 3 races. So if he can figure his qualifying out, that car is going to be really hard to beat.
Well, to be fair, whenever he started up at the front, he's usually had bad luck. So maybe starting in the 20s is his good luck charm, perhaps.
Well, I guess that's one way to look at it. But But and here's Echo Evans Ross as well, another strong run for the 39 team. They need it to try and help their battle to stay in the top 30 in owners points as well. They entered this race 30th going in, as right now Young actually starting to close in on Vargas, so maybe this battle is about to heat up for the race lead.
Yeah, he's kind of in drafting range. I know you wouldn't think of Texas as a drafting track, but they run fast enough here where the slipstream can still be a powerful force here. And Dylan Young's really the only person that's able to really catch the slipstream off of Vargas. So, like, it makes sense that he's closing in here. And it's just going to be interesting to see if they start to get the battling and the rest of these guys can start to catch up as Tescar's gotten around Devin Fair.
Yeah, so Devin Fair, he's trying to find his way up into the podium positions. He's got Lane Sanders and Echo Evans Ross helping him in his progress. Cale Tescar Jr., though, he wants a good run. He entered this race 13th in the points. He needs a strong run to stay alive in the title fight. As look, we got some new faces again. Henry Thomas, Stephen Gale, they fought their way up to the top 10 now.
Yeah, and Henry Thomas, he was really nowhere prior to the caution, but yeah, with him now being up here, he's now in a good chance to try and make up some points on Mashburn here. He had this race 5th in the championship, 44 points out. He's definitely going to be gaining some here as they run.
And meanwhile, we're looking further back. Ryan Griffin's fighting in a heavy pack of traffic. JD Martin's falling back a little bit. And how about Aiden Clare in the not the 00, that's his Nitro National number. Car number 70, Aiden Clare for Gamebreaker Racing, second race in a row filling in for Emma Kruger. He's fighting his way towards the top 15 as well. As we look back at Mashburn, he's made his way up to what I believe to be about 23rd place. And once he gets past Bobo Jones and Aaron Hall, that's going to be a huge patch of clean air he can ride in.
Yeah, and some nice slipstream as well once he gets up to the back bumper of whoever happens to be the unlucky guy that's at the tail end of that pack. As I believe Vargas and Dylan Young here, they're kind of holding station with the gap right now, but I believe they are slowly reeling in that 00 of Julio Cesar.
Yeah, because these two have pulled away a decent margin from the rest of the field. Tescar's actually slipped back to 6th position now behind Fair, Sanders, and Evans Ross, but this 39's continuing to impress me. I will admit it. Evans Ross started in the mid-pack, but she's made her way up to the front. These two, however, are in a league of their own at the moment. They're cycling laps far and away faster than anyone else, and I think Dylan Young, after not too much long of a time, is going to try and go for the lead.
Yeah, it's like these guys are running in the 1-up series while everybody else is running in the 1.5-up series with as far ahead as these guys are. But yeah, I believe Dylan Young was trying to take a look to the inside there through 3 and 4 on the previous lap, but just couldn't quite make it stick. That's allowed Vargas to pull away a little bit. And here we go. Sanders and Fair now starting to work together. They're pulling away a little bit from this group now led by Echo Evans Ross, with Tescar now looking to the inside. Zay Davidson right behind him, holding station in, I believe that is 7th. Yep, I believe. And here you see Aiden Clare now making his way, looking to the inside with the 4 off the corner.
Yeah, that is going to be, it's going to be fun to watch that young driver making progress through the field. But we got to be careful as well. We're probably going to get some lap traffic before too long in the form of Caesar, in the form of Fitzwater, Mahendra, Dugansak. Actually, Myles Mashburn, he's dropped quite a ways off from where he was running. He was 23rd, now he's down at about 29th. Something must have happened. We'll get to him a few laps ago. We'll try and figure out what that is in a moment, but this is not good news for the points leader.
Yeah, I mean, could this be the shift in momentum for the rest of the field? A chink in the armor for Mashburn, who has been the model of consistency all season long.
Yeah, it's hard, and we're hearing word that it's a fuel pressure issue on the 72. It's the readings are going weird, and he's not quite getting it right. It's not at its full potential. Mashburn is losing time, and I don't think it's going to get any better over the course of the remainder of this race.
Yeah, fuel pressure is not what you want to lose, especially at a track like this. As now we see battle for the lead side by side. Dylan Young going for the lead and possibly the win here, as we are going to be crossing the line at halfway this time by. There's the cross line, to see them there. Dylan Young leads at halfway.
And this would be a really big deal for Dylan Young because with Mashburn having his fuel pressure issues languishing at the back, if it finishes like this, Young would actually take the points lead away from Myles Mashburn. But here comes Christian Vargas trying to prevent that, try and gain some points himself. He's entered this race third in points, remember, and now he's going to try and take the lead back from the 29. They're still side by side.
Yeah, these two have the most to gain from Mashburn's issues at the moment, and they're squabbling for the lead, possibly the win at the end of this, but they got to be careful because you got Devin Fair. He's 2 seconds back. Lane Sanders, right behind him. If these two continue to squabble, they can catch up, as can the rest of the field here. Yeah, you got Julio Cesar right ahead of them, giving them at least some sort of draft of some sort, at least maybe slowing that progress down. But at the same time, it's like they still got to be careful.
Yeah, and Mashburn, you see, he just got passed by Daniel Bouchard. That's for 29th position. Mashburn is just fading through the field slowly but surely. That fuel pressure issue is not going away, and it's just going to cost him more and more time the longer he runs, but he's got to hang it out, hope for more attrition.
Yeah, or at least another caution or something to at least help him catch back up, as we see Vargas now back around the 29 of Young to lead that lap there.
Yeah, Vargas back to the lead. Young tucking right back into his slipstream in second place. These two have pulled well clear of Devin Fair, Lane Sanders, and the rest. They're making it a race amongst themselves, but I feel like these two are quite evenly matched. I'm trying to figure out who's going to get the advantage over the other at this rate.
Well, right now, the advantage is Devin Fair. He closed up at least 3/10 over the course of the last couple of laps here. Of course, I say that that gap opened up in about another 10th, but yeah, the more these guys squabble, the more of a chance Fair has to come in and capitalize on that squabbling.
And meanwhile, looking further back, Nicky Martinez has dropped back a little bit, and Zachary DeLello, he's hanging on to the tail of the league, to the tail of the group at least. But we now go into turn one with Christian Vargas building a bigger lead over Dylan Young. This is something worth keeping an eye on for later. And although with Cesar holding Vargas up, I think that's going to open the door for Young to try and make another run at it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a team game to at least help Lane Sanders, his team owner, maybe also help catch up. I know Sanders is 3.1 back at the line last time by. But, yeah, Julio Cesar being off pace is going to hold these guys up, which is going to allow the rest of the field to catch up. Let's see what the intervals are. It's holding station about 3.1 back, but Fair definitely took a 10th off the lead that time by.
Yeah, but yeah, Caesar's holding these guys up in a way, not that to let the others catch up, but to keep them compressed together in a way that lead changes I expect are going to be happening quite often from this point forward.
Yeah, I mean, you see Dylan Young, he's running about half a car width lower on the track than Vargas is right now. Possibly to make sure that he keeps his car cool, but also to maybe see if Vargas kind of moves up the track a little bit. But like Vargas running about half a lane off the white line there. And Dylan Young actually lost a lot of time there through 3 and 4 as Vargas now pulls away. He's kind of tucked into the back bumper of the 00 there a little bit.
Yeah, so Vargas trying to make some gains on Dylan Young, keep his lead, because remember, he hasn't won in a while. If he wins this race, it'd be the first time all season that he's found victory lane. Dylan Young, of course, won earlier this year at Kentucky, but he still wants to get one last one before he bows out.
Speaking of Kentucky, another race where Myles Mashburn had an issue where he had to come down pit road and finish towards the tail end of the field. As we now catch lap traffic here, Cesar tried to take a look to the inside of Fitzwater, but he slowed up a little bit in that corner. That slowed up Vargas. Now here comes Dylan Young, now looking to the inside for the lead.
And it looks like he's
He
going to
has
get
it at
it.
least off the corner, and he's going to clear, yeah.
So Dylan Young back to the point on lap 52 going into lap 53 here at Texas. And we've got some heavy lap traffic now with Mahendra and Fitzwater joining the fray a little bit. But Caesar's trying to find his way past the 59. I think Dylan Young and Christian Vargas, they're going to have to follow the 00 through past these slower cars to try and make it, once again, a race of just themselves.
Yeah, but they got to be careful because this chasing pack here that's led by Fair, but now you got Claire up into 4th spot. Great run for the super sub driver there in 70.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job, I will say, especially with such little superstar experience. He only had 2 starts going into tonight. But here comes Vargas now, and once again, down the inside on Dylan Young. But Young, with that momentum on the outside, I think he's going to be able to hold on to it this time as we close in now on 30 to go.
Yeah, now with both Mahendra and Fitzwater dispatched, they really only have Julio Cesar ahead of them, and Julio Cesar has clear track for a good bit ahead of him. I don't see any lap traffic and any of the camera angles that, from what I can tell, although Dylan Young now does not want to have Julio Cesar ahead of him. He wants that clear track for himself, and he's going to take it here through 3 and 4 here, and he's going to have now at least 1 car as a buffer between him and Vargas.
Oh, and we got one smoking down on the apron, and it's Logan Williams in the 8. He was running at the tail of the field anyway, but now he's got serious issues with under the hood of that car. And that's going to be another retirement. That's going to help Mashburn a little bit. That's going to help him up the running order by a position. But now, tough break for Logan Williams. He was running decently well in this race and in the points overall. Oh, be careful, though. Don't want to collect anybody on the racetrack. And it looks like he's able to make it, though. Back to pit road.
Yeah, that was a bit hairy. But also, that actually introduces another factor that these guys have to be careful, though, or is if Logan Williams dropped any fluids on the racetrack, like oil or water or anything like that. Now, as we see Vargas now get around Dylan Young, who was repassed by Julio Cesar for the lead.
Yeah, I don't see any fluid down on the racetrack, so I think we're okay. But Vargas didn't want to take any chances. He's found his way back past Dylan Young. We're coming up on 25 laps to go, and these two are just swapping the lead back and forth. This is excellent racing.
Yeah. Who says you can't have fun racing at Texas Motor Speedway?
Yeah, it's often a good time when we come here, and Vargas and Young are doing their utmost best to prove that to us here tonight. These two are racing excellently. They're racing hard but clean, and Dylan Young once again now diving to the inside of Vargas for the lead.
Yeah, but Vargas is going to have that momentum on the outside lane here. You see it right there. Vargas still clear of Young, although Young still into the inside. Now he's going to tuck in line behind the 54 here as now Vargas tries to take an inside line, trying to get to Julio Cesar. Can't quite do that. So now Dylan Young goes back in just a little bit.
Yeah, Vargas is doing whatever he can to pad his lead. It's up to 3.5 tenths now, but they're still having a bit of a hard time trying to lap Julio Cesar. I understand the 00 is a good car and it's quite fast, and it's pretty much on the same level of tire, but it's just a little complicated to try and lap a guy here in Texas, especially when they're just as fast as you are.
Yeah, and it can get quite annoying, and that chrome heart can get very tempting, but with the speeds they're running, that can be very dangerous. So I respect them for not wanting to use that and put anybody else in danger, especially after what we saw back on lap 23.
So here comes Dylan Young once again down the inside of Christian Vargas, going to take the lead back again. These two have been trading the lead back and forth like a hot potato, and now Young back to the point. We're closing in on 20 to go. Could he win one more time?
Well, it's all to play for. A lot can happen in just over 20 laps, especially at a track like this. But yeah, these guys aren't done yet. Here comes Burton taking a look to the inside again.
Excellent stuff. from the two-time series champion Christian Vargas, but he doesn't quite have it this time to get past Dylan Young. Duke Anzac's is closing in to get lapped, and just ahead of him, Myles Mashburn's not that far up the road. He's in danger of getting lapped within the next 10 or so.
Yeah, and that's definitely not what Mashburn wants to see, but yeah, not much you can do with a fuel pressure issue like what he's been having. To see now Julio Cesar to the inside of Anzac to allow or to A, move up a spot, and B, to actually no, that's not technically a battle for position. That's just a move to unlap himself from Anzac, since he is a lap down on the verge of going 2 at the moment, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But yeah, so Anzac's still ahead of Caesar on the racetrack, despite what you're looking at. But Dylan Young still holding a solid lead. Well, I say it's solid. Vargas is right on his back bumper, but that just shows you how close these guys are in terms of speed and outright pace. These guys are just matching each other toe-to-toe, and now we've got 20 laps to go. Vargas still trying to get his first win of 2025.
Yeah, although don't look too far back, because Devin Fair and now J.D. Martin in 4th with Claire in 5th, and looks like that's Henry Thomas in 6th. They've slowly but surely been reeling these guys in as they've been trying to navigate lap traffic and as they've been battling each other side by side.
Don't think it'll be enough to catch them, but it could be interesting, especially if we get a caution flag late in this race. That could really make things interesting. But right now, it's Dylan Young out in the lead with Vargas in hot pursuit as they try and lap Caesar again.
Yeah, these guys, the last thing they want to see is a caution flag. I think they're having a little bit of too much fun battling each other, as frustrating as Julio Cesar is probably making it. As now Dylan Young, once again, with Caesar as a buffer, but here comes Vargas, taking a look to the inside of Caesar. He's going to try and get around Caesar, make that no buffer at all. Although I think Caesar is going to get the run on the outside lane here, as we see Mashburn just ahead of the leaders.
Yeah, one other note to make as we're well into this run. Cody Goforth made an unscheduled pit stop from 20th to address an oil line that was going a little sour. So they fixed that. They sent him back out. He's a lap down, but we'll see what he can do for the rest of the night. Meanwhile, Dylan Young critically putting Myles Mashburn a lap down, and that is very, very important when it comes to the championship because these two entered it first and second.
Yeah, and although with how they're running, it's hard pressed to say that Mashburn is going to be even in second right now.
Well, especially with Vargas taking the lead.
Yeah, as I was about to say, Vargas takes the lead from Dylan Young, who was, I think, caught up just ever so slightly with a bit of momentum loss from trying to get around Mashburn. But crucially, both of them ahead of Julio Cesar now. The next car ahead of him is, I believe, Bouchard.
It is. He's about to go a lap down. So I think actually that's going to be the last lap car they're going to have to deal with for the rest of this race. So once they dispatch Bouchard and get on their way, it'll be just them for the rest of the race. But we've got about 15 laps to go now. Christian Vargas has led the most laps. I believe he's locked up the bonus point for that now. Dylan Young trying to steal the win away, and unless we get a caution, it's going to be these two fighting it out.
Yeah, also just wanted to give a shout out J.D. Martin running in 3rd. He's gotten around Devin Fair for that position. So great run for J.D. Martin. I said it earlier, I think starting in the 20s is his good luck charm. Just the circumstances of the race has prevented him from winning the last couple after opening the playoffs with back-to-back wins despite missing out on the playoffs.
Yeah, I believe he's got a bright future ahead staying with Robbers Racing for another year. But the current battle is between Revolution Racing and Fingai Saitomi Motorsports in the form of Christian Vargas and Dylan Young. These two have put on an incredible show for these Texas fans, and now they're only about 13 laps away from deciding a victor.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm hard-pressed to say that neither of these guys deserve it when They've been at the front pretty much all race long. They've been duking it out since the drop of the green on the restart after the caution. Like, both of these guys deserve it, and it's been an awesome duel these last, almost 50 laps now.
It's been epic. One of the best battles we've seen all season long. It's got my vote for battle of the season so far. As you look back here, Martin did take third from Devon Fair. Now Henry Thomas trying to make a move on Fair. That's for fourth spot. Lane Sanders, though, and Cale Tescar Jr., they've dropped a little bit down to 9th and 10th, though they're working on Sam Donotto for that position. As Vargas just starting to eke out an advantage over Dylan Young once again.
Yeah, I think Dylan Young's kind of used up his stuff just a little bit. Maybe he's trying to save it. So they're going to get 10 to go at the line this time by. But, yeah, Vargas is starting to really open up that gap now.
And it'll be interesting to see how these guys approach the final few laps. Do they save a little bit for one final push in the final 5 laps? Or does Vargas go all out now and then try and hang on to a huge lead over the remaining few laps? And there's many ways to play this out, and we're 10 laps away from deciding it all.
Well, I mean, if Vargas just goes all out here, Dylan Young's got to use up at least a little bit of any reserves he might have left just to try and keep up. That way, Vargas doesn't pull out to an insurmountable lead. As we see, actually, he is now starting to close in on that 54 just a little bit here. On the flip side, though, if Vargas pulls out to a big lead but starts falling back even before Dylan Young really starts pushing, that could also shape how the end of this race is going to go. Although, like I said, Dylan Young is starting to close in on Vargas just a little bit, so it's not over yet, folks.
And keep in mind as well, these guys have had these tires on for about 50 laps now. And they are pretty much ready to get rid of them at this point. But we still have about 8 laps to go to decide this race as Dylan Young once again dives to the inside of Vargas. Will he be able to take the lead out of 2?
I don't know. Vargas is going to have the momentum on the outside. We've seen it all race long here. Although Dylan Young with the advantage coming off the corner, they're still side by side as they head into turn 3.
Yeah, this has been an absolutely epic cage match between Dylan Young and Christian Vargas. These guys have been giving it absolutely everything they have in this race, and we're very close to the end of this thing. Although, critically, Julio Cesar's now gotten in between the two of them. So Christian Vargas now has to deal with the 0-0 before he can even think about challenging the 29 once again.
You say cage match, and I'm sitting here, Julio Cesar has been the referee for this cage match this entire time here. As we see now, Vargas look to the inside of the 0-0 to try to dispatch him, to try to make one final push to catch up to Dylan Young here.
Yeah, we have 6 laps to go right now. The gap is still about a quarter of a second between these two. JD Martin's not going to catch that at this rate, so it's going to be between these two. The big question is, how will Julio Cesar influence this race? Will he try and unlap himself again? Or will he let these two try and play it out for their own win?
I don't know. Hard to tell. We take 5 to go now. I mean, at this point, a caution would just end this thing. So at this point, you'd have to think these guys might be asking for a caution. But here comes Julio Cesar now taking a look to the inside of Vargas. He's definitely going to try and play a factor into this. He's going to try and play a little bit of a race-winning spoiler here, even though he's now 2 laps down at this point.
And that pretty much settles it right there. Unless Christian Vargas can get a big move made on Cesar once again. We now have 4 laps to go, and the gap just keeps getting bigger. And there's a buffer car now. Dylan Young in the catbird seat for his 2nd win of the year.
I think Vargas just gave Julio Cesar a shot there going into turn 1. But alternate scenario here, if Julio Cesar gets around Dylan Young as well, that removes the buffer in that regard as well, although Vargas now losing a lot of time to these top 2 here. I'm not calling it now, but it's pretty much close to over as we take 3 laps to go.
I wonder,
with Dylan Young now.
Yeah, I was just
Go
gonna.
ahead.
I was just gonna say. I wonder, with all the defending Christian Vargas had to do in this race, if he burnt everything out trying to hold it on. And this is going to be a shame if he doesn't win this, because he has led so much of this race. He deserved to win at Kansas. He deserved to win here, and he's might not get either of them. 2 laps to go now for Dylan.
Man, we've seen a lot of playoff drivers involved in incidents today. Dylan Young just needs to set up another good 6 corners here with a lap and a half to go. Vargas no longer a factor in this. I'm calling it now. I think Dylan Young has got this in the bag unless he has an issue here within these last 1.5 miles.
The white flag flies for Dylan Young. We have 1 lap to go in this race, and this is going to be a huge, like you said at the beginning, a huge shift in the championship fight. Dylan Young, he said he was retiring at the end of 2025. He's holding true to that. But look at what he's done with this opportunity as Vargas tries to get by Caesar at the last minute. It's not going to be enough for the 54. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. It is going to be Dylan Young getting his 2nd win of the season, getting the championship lead for the first time this season. And now he is in an excellent position as we head to Talladega. Checkered flag, Dylan Young, a winner in Texas.
I mean, you said it. He couldn't get it done in Chicagoland, the one he wanted to win. But man, this has got to be great compensation for that.
Yeah. His 5th career win ties him with Mark Davey and, ironically enough, Myles Mashburn on the all-time win list. And now that he's taken the points lead away, the ball is in Dylan Young's court as we head to Talladega next week. And he is going to need all the advantage he can get going there, because we know how races can often unfold there.
Yeah. There's a reason why they say it's a matter of when, not if, for the big one at Talladega. And like we saw earlier, that could definitely affect some of our playoff drivers' hopes. Like as we saw on the lap 23 crash today.
Absolutely. But, you know, regardless of who won that race, they would have deserved it. Young and Vargas treated us to an excellent showdown here in Texas, and I'm looking forward to see what happens next. So from Jacob Crago and from myself as well, thanks for joining us here at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll see you again next week at Talladega. Like we said, the big one. It lurks around every corner there, and I'm curious to see who wins big in Talladega and who's going to be on the back foot. But until we see you in Alabama, so long from the Texas Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Dylan Young, his 5th career win. This one is going to matter a whole lot to him as he's now firmly in the championship hunt now.